Okay, thanks for being here. It's a third coffee break new style. And today I want to talk with you about the 5 dysfunctions of a team. Who's ever heard of that? Yeah, you've heard of it? Yeah. It's created by Patrick Lencioni. You can tell by his first name that it's a great guy. He did a lot of research on a lot of teams, and he found that around about 80% of the teams he investigated were not really teams at all. They were just people put together, a group, and not really functioning as a real team. And he defined some dysfunctions that he noticed, and he stacked them on one on the other, and he said, okay, if you want to have a really hyper-performant team, you have to have the whole pyramid in place, but you have to start somewhere, and you can't have the next level without the level below. So at the bottom we see trust. So that's the first thing you need to have as a team. And over there you can see what a team has if it has trust. We trust each other on a fundamental emotional level, and we feel comfortable being vulnerable with each other about our weaknesses, mistakes, fears, and behaviors. So if you don't even have that, then you're not even a team in this definition. So that's interesting to start with. If you have trust amongst your team members, then you can look at the next level. So the dysfunction is a fear of conflict. There's a fear of conflict in your team if you are afraid to address issues with your team members, and that's called a dysfunction. So if a team is not afraid to have conflict, then they're not afraid to engage in passionate dialogue around issues and decisions that are critical to the success of the team. They don't hesitate to disagree with each other in spirit of finding the best answers. So that's a good addition there. It's not disagreeing for disagreeing, but for finding the best answers. Okay, if you have that, if you can do that, if you can engage with your team members, the next step will be commitment. So a dysfunction is a lack of commitment. And commitment, as in we ensure that all opinions and ideas are considered, so that we are able to achieve genuine buy-in around decision, even when some team members initially disagree. So that's a good point, because you can have disagreements to start with, and you can, after discussion, still have disagreement. But in the end, the team needs to commit and say, okay, we agreed to disagree, but we're still gonna do this. We're gonna stick with it. As a team, we decide this. We're gonna do this. That's commitment. So if you have a lack of commitment, then it would be like at the end of the sprint, yeah, I told you so. I told you it wasn't gonna work, and yeah, I didn't agree with you, and then you keep your distance from the rest of the team. But in a team with commitment, we decided this, we're sticking with it. If you have that, then you could go to the level of accountability. So if there's an avoidance of accountability, that's a dysfunction. So you hold each other accountable for adhering to our decisions and standards of performance. So you don't rely on management or other leaders to hold people accountable, but you hold your peers accountable. So if you see someone slacking in quality, you talk to that person within your team openly and address the issue. Or if in the beginning you made a decision and during the sprint someone is not sticking to that decision, and then you can hold each other accountable, then that's a good thing. You can have a discussion and say, okay, we decided this, remember? Yeah. So holding each other accountable. At the top, there's the dysfunction is inattention to results. So if a team does pay attention to results, they set aside individual needs, focus on what is best for the team, and so you do not place this is tricky, either the department, your career or status ahead of the results that define the team's success. So that's, yeah, way out there, and I haven't seen it that much, to be honest. So it's a difficult last step. I think it's also a bit of a leap to go from there to there, but no, it's something to strive for. A few things you have to remember. Being a good team requires hard work, dedication, and discipline. It doesn't come all by itself. You have to stick to these things and work on it like a good marriage. And it never ends. So you can just say, okay, we'll go through a phase and then we're a good team. No, you have to keep working at it, because you can slack off again. You cannot demand trust. Trust is at the basis of all of this, but you cannot say, trust me. You can try, but that never works, right? But you can start by being vulnerable. You can, if you want to start something, then you can only change your own behavior. And if you open up and be vulnerable about your mistakes, that will relax other team members and open them up, and that creates a trust amongst the team. And the last one is also important. Trust really starts at the leadership level, because if you're in an environment where there is no trust at all, and everyone is checking on each other and being picky, and that doesn't help at the lower levels of the team, right? So that's a good one for the leadership. Also, yeah, they're paying attention to their phones. But yeah. Okay. Any questions around this? No? All clear?